Sustainability is defined as the potential for long-term maintenance of well-being, which has ecological, economic, political, and cultural dimensions. Sustainability requires the reconciliation of environmental, social equity, and economic demands. It is the ongoing maintenance and sustenance of life. And as I usually do, I start this segment with a solar myth, and this week, solar is a scam. Not. I think we know that by now. Solar is anything but a scam. This myth has been widely perpetuated by the utility companies, well, and others, climate deniers, who until now have held a monopoly in the industry. Solar power provides a viable option to homeowners who want a choice of where they get their power. Also, as the cost of solar comes down and the cost of utility power increases, solar continues to become more and more viable. And Dave, from Luke Vargas, we have this story about the statistics of how the business of solar is growing.
Yeah, solar energy has now accounts for 1% of global electricity. And that's the equivalent of eliminating 66 standard coal-fired power plants. And these voltaic manufacturers could probably provide more than 20% of the global electricity by the year 2050. So 1% of the world's power is now coming from solar. That's really great. 66 coal plants that did not have to come online.
That's fantastic. So definitely solar is here now. It's not the future. It's here now. And next, I spent the weekend, Dave, thinking about thinking, and here's a little bit to introduce this segment.
What is the mold that I pour myself into every day that creates stress, struggle, and stuckness? Break the mold! I'd do that if I knew how. At the Into-In Thinking Forum, we expose ourselves to our thinking by listening to others' ideas and participating in breakout sessions, small group conversations, and ingenious methods of uncovering stuckness. Join us in Burbank, California, on the Woodbury University campus, June 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, 2015, for 3 days of super low-cost pre-conference sessions and the very affordable weekend forum, Friday evening through Sunday noon. Aspire, inspire, achieve.
And that was the theme of the weekend. Aspire, inspire, achieve. And what a phenomenal weekend, Dave. As you can see, I am wearing my badge, and see what name I have on there.
It's Dan NOWMAN Niswander.
That's right, that's right. So obviously, I had a lot of conversations with rocket scientists, software engineers, professors, accountants, business management people, unemployed people, just all sorts of just really intelligent people. There was a guy there, the president of the LA Mensa organization, which is, the IQ people. And he was a car collector, actually, the guy who was there, Dave. Dave likes things that move and have engines.
If it's got a motor, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. So basically, some of the people who spoke there, we had a guy that worked. You see, he actually teaches, I think, at Fordham University, or he went there to school. And another teacher from the USC School of Policy, Planning, and Development. There was a guy who used to work for GM, the grandson of W. Edwards Deming, who is the president of the Deming Institute. He was the founder of the System of Profound Knowledge, which definitely was a business management theory that was used by the country of Japan. Basically, they gave him credit for that, turning their whole economy around there. And then since that time, obviously, some U.S. corporations borrowed it as well. And it's basically just about thinking about how you think. And that inspired my friend Dr. Bill Bellows, a rocket scientist at Aerojet Rocketdyne, and some other associates from NASA, Boeing, and other organizations to create this organization called Into-In, a conference literally about thinking. And what an amazing experience, Dave. And I can't say enough about it. I highly recommend it. It will be happening probably during spring break at Woodbury University next year. That's what they're discussing. I'll probably be part of that team to help put that together. And it'll be in March probably next year. And it will be incredibly awesome. I talked to somebody who worked at Apple, had a conversation with Steve Jobs. Just unbelievable, really nice people. And this is an example. I'm not going to get into this too much this week, Dave, maybe next week. This is Edward de Bono's 6 Thinking Hats. And what we're going to do next week is some of these words here, I'm going to put it out to you and my guests, and I'm going to pick these different types of hats that convey different types of emotions and ideas, and we'll pick one of these hats and we'll say, how does that word affect you? And I'll give you maybe a minute to respond, and that's it, and I'll cut you off.
Cool.
And,
I love it.
And this can be used in strategizing or just fun games in your brain exercises. And this is just one of many. I should say at least a half a dozen different strategy plans that I can use that I got from this weekend. Just incredibly stimulating, inspiring, hopeful type of stuff that, to me, thinking clearly is sustainable. And we all got this book by Russell Akoff and Sheldon Roven called Redesigning Society. I'm sure I'll read from it in my Read a Book segment on the show. And here's a sticker from the End-to-End Thinking Network, and I'll end this segment with this. In the spirit of Russ and Shell, may this book inspire you to do the right things righter. And
I love it.
And I'll read next week, probably read from the cover description of the book, which explains what the gist of the book is about. And then there's always more, and it's never ending, and that's what I love about the NOWMAN Show. Until next week, I'm going to leave you with a little teaser from the NOWMAN TV show coming up in July. I'll have more information about that. This is a segment from my interview. Speaking of space, Charles Eisenstein talking about the space between stories. And then maybe we'll go out with some Paul McCartney. Until next week, this is Niswander, and be present always.
What a great show.
Ourselves, that anything that's happening on this planet will inevitably come back to us, no matter how high a wall we build. That domestic violence mirrors foreign policy violence, et cetera, et cetera. Well, as we understand that, and build new institutions on that understanding, the whole world will change. So we are in a revolution on every level. Not only are we seeing the old institutions fail us and begin to disintegrate, but also our understanding of who we are, that's disintegrating too. And so we're entering this, I call it the space between stories, where we just don't have answers anymore. We just don't know anymore. We're not sure who we are, what's real, how to navigate our lives, what's normal.
No, you're not crazy. There's something you're not being told underneath the veneer of normalcy. Things are far from normal.